And the need for speed, an air show is coming to Port Lincoln.
This is Southern Cross News with Sam Hunt.
Good evening. The Premier today visited Port Pirie, giving the city's economy the tick of approval. Jay Weatherall has also questioned why one of our major banks, ANZ, has very strict lending rules in the city. Our reporter Keziah Sullivan spoke to the Premier at the Near Star Smelter today.
The Premier visiting Port Pirie, talking up the local economy. Keziah Sullivan, Southern Cross News.
6 new housing trust homes in Whyalla are ready for tenants as part of a big state government program. The scheme's providing an economic boost, with Whyalla contractors being used in the construction.
Welcome to the housing trust home of the 21st century.
They're much more modern, contemporary housing. They'll suit current day sustainability standards of rainwater tanks, energy efficiency. So it'll mean that the tenants will have much more lower running costs.
100 years ago, the First World War was raging in Europe. Back then, thousands of letters were sent to the Red Cross, with relatives back home desperate for news about their loved ones. Now, some of those letters have been translated to theatre, to be staged this weekend in Port Augusta.
It was meant to be the war to end all wars.
Community groups across Port Lincoln have joined forces to offer locals help in managing healthy relationships and creating healthy habits. Our reporter Callum McPherson went along to the event called Communarama.
It can seem awkward, but conversations around health and relationships are ones that need to be had.
Stay with us here on Southern Cross News. Still to come tonight, cracking down on domestic violence in Whyalla. That's next. Welcome back. The Whyalla Football League has partnered with community groups to host a white ribbon round this weekend in aid of domestic violence. Our reporter John Hunt went along to see what support services are on offer in Whyalla. Port Lincoln is about to make history by hosting the first air show on the Eyre Peninsula since the 1960s. With something on offer for everyone, this is not to be missed.
It's time to feel the need for speed.
It's been a long time between flights for Port Lincoln. The last time the city hosted an air show was back in 1964. Those attending this year's event will see planes and helicopters. They'll also get an answer to the age-old question, can a Ferrari outrun a fighter jet?
Stay with us here on Southern Cross News. Still to come tonight, sporting young guns test themselves at a mini Olympics in Broken Hill. Students at Broken Hill Public School were on the hunt for gold medals today, taking part in a mini Olympics. The kids took part in 10 different fun sports, with 10 countries being represented at the mini games.
They may not be in Rio, but these kids are in the Olympic spirit. Miss Harris says that while the race for gold can be competitive, it's all about enjoying the sport. This reporter even managed to get in on the fun.
Still on sport, and there's plenty of action around this weekend. Let's check footy tips, beginning in Port Pirie.
This week in SGL football, it's the second half of the split round with 2 games to be played. On Saturday in Port Pirie, it's Soli's taking on Central at Memorial Oval. Central are currently sitting in 4th spot, and with just 4 minor round matches left, will be fighting hard to hang on to that last finals place. Soli's come into this match having chalked up their second win of the season last round and will fancy their chances against Central. I'm tipping Soli's. The other matches in Port Augusta are also on Saturday, with Port taking on South. South sit at the top of the table and continue to impress. Port will be concerned with their low scoring and must find more avenues to goal if they're to challenge South. I'm tipping South.
Welcome to Whyalla football, just 2 matches to go before finals. First up tonight at Bennett Oval, it's Roona Bay versus North Whyalla. If North win this and the results go their way in other matches, they'll go back in the 2nd spot, and that's exactly what the Magpies will do tonight. Saturday's game at Bennett Oval, it's Rapina versus Central Whyalla. 4th versus 5th, but I think Central's are going on very nicely and they should win as well. And finally on Saturday at Memorial Oval, 1st versus 2nd match of the round, West Whyalla versus South Whyalla. West have beaten South comfortably on all times this year, and I think the Dragons will have another win.
Welcome to Port Lincoln Footy Tips. In the first game of this round, we see Mallee Park hosting Lincoln South. The Lincoln South boys will be up and about this week after local boy Cole Chalmers won gold medal at the Olympics. I think if they could slot him in at centre-half forward, they'll be in with a chance, but unfortunately I can't see him coming back for this game. I'm tipping Mallee Park by 5 goals. In the next game, we see Waybacks heading to Paul Oval to take on Boston's. We're in the business end of the season with only 2 games left, and Waybacks can't afford to drop this game. I'm tipping Waybacks by 4 goals. In the last game, we see Marlborough Range heading to Ravendale Oval to take on Tasman's. Tasman's only got the 1 win this season, and I can't see him getting one this week. Marlborough Range have got too many options up forward and will win this one by 5 goals.
Round 17 of Broken Hill football sees Centrals and North both going over the hill to play at the Alma Oval. A game of special consequence for both sides. For Centrals, they're celebrating their 2006 Premiership reunion on the Sunday at their Old Timers weekend, and with plenty of former Pies on the hill, you can expect the current crop of Central players to be dead keen to put on a great performance. For the North Footy Club, Jamie McConnell becomes only the 3rd player to join the 300 club, so with a host of stars back, including Isaac Cumming, Jaden Kelly, Matt Garrick and Nathan Rayner, you'd expect the Bulldogs to be hell-bent on getting the 2 premiership points for Jamie McConnell. Whilst over at the Jubilee Oval, top-placed South have their final hit out at the Jubilee Oval before a grand final berth on September 3rd. They come up against the West side, who have had their own dramas this week with the failure to be able to field a B-grade side, upending the time slots for the day. And please note that the A-grade game will kick off an hour earlier this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. when South will be too strong for a determined and improving West side, but this week you can certainly see the winners locally being South and North.
Stay with us here on Southern Cross News. Coming up after the break, a check of your local weather for the weekend. Welcome back to the weather now, and it was a beautiful day across the Spencer Gulf with some warm temperatures. 21 was the top in Port Augusta, 18 the top in Port Pirie and Port Lincoln. Broken Hill was a little cooler. On the satellite, light showers over southeastern parts of Australia, cool in the state's south, mild to warm in the north. Checking Gulf waters for tomorrow, winds from the west-southwest at 10 knots. Seas on a southwesterly swell at 1.5 metres. Sunrise will be at 1 minute past 7. Looking at tomorrow, a glorious weekend is forecast to the Spencer Gulf. Fine in Port Augusta and Port Lincoln. Whyalla is also looking sunny with 18. Fine in Broken Hill with 18 as well, and a sunny day for Port Pirie. To the 4-day forecast, and brimming with sunshine this weekend in Port Lincoln and Cleve, these 2 centres will see some rain on Tuesday. Turning to Whyalla now, and a sunny weekend right across the Gulf. Whyalla and Port Augusta are looking fine. And checking Port Pirie's forecast, 17 tomorrow, 18 on Saturday, fine on Sunday. Sunny in Broken Hill with 17 on Saturday and 19 on Sunday, so a beautiful weekend is forecast all round. And that is your local news this evening. Remember, your local news is on 7/2 during the Olympics. Tim